Hello everyone. The topic of this video is home buying. By the time you finish watching this video, you should be able to find monthly mortgage payments, calculate the interest on a mortgage, and create an amortization table. A mortgage is a long-term loan where the lender has the right to seize the property purchased if the payments are not made. So if a mortgage is secured through a bank, then if the payments are not made on that mortgage, then the bank would then seize and own the home that the mortgage was on. The word mortgage has an interesting origin. It comes from two French words for dead and pledge, and it's believed that the meaning here is that if the pledge or the debt was not paid, then that property would be seized and would then be dead to that person. Some common mortgage terms would be 30 years or anything from 15 to 50 years. Mortgages can be fixed rate, adjustable rate, or have graduated payments. So a fixed rate mortgage, kind of the name there implies what that is. The interest rate is fixed for the entire term of the mortgage, and you would almost, or you could say you could lock in at a certain rate. An adjustable rate mortgage can change over the life of the mortgage. That's of course a good thing if the rate goes down, but there's also a risk there because over, let's say you have a 30-year mortgage, there's a good chance that that rate will change, and it probably at some point that rate will go up. And some mortgages allow the person with a mortgage to make graduated payments, and this means that the rate is fixed, it stays the same over the period of the mortgage, but this person would make smaller payments at the beginning of the mortgage and then larger payments toward the end. So that would be a good thing for somebody just starting out, to be able to start with smaller mortgage payments, but ultimately they'll end up paying more in the long run. So ultimately it's better for the person giving the mortgage, the bank, and not the payment, or not the person who took out the mortgage. Alright, let's look at one way to calculate the monthly payment on a mortgage. This is a table from the textbook, and this shows you the monthly payment per $1,000 of mortgage. This includes the principal and the interest. So for example, let's say you purchase a tiny house for $5,000, and you want to know what's your monthly payment going to be on that tiny house. Alright, so let's say you have a 6% interest rate and you take out a 30-year mortgage. Well, that means that this table shows us that for every $1,000 of mortgage, you would pay $6 per month. And so since you have a $5,000 house, then you would just multiply that by 5, and your monthly mortgage payment will be $30. Alright, so pretty low amount there, but if you just have a tiny house, then you're paying it off over 30 years. That's what you would pay. Alright, so here's the procedure, the different steps to find the monthly payment. We need to first find the down payment and subtract that from the cost of the home. So what we want to do is find the principal of the mortgage, how much is being financed. Alright, then we divide the principal by 1,000. Alright, so with the previous tiny house example, 5,000 divided by 1,000 is 5. So that just tells you how many groups of $1,000 are in the principal, and that's the number that you need to multiply that table number by. Step 4, find the number in the table that corresponds to the interest rate and the term of the mortgage, and then multiply that number by this number obtained in step 3 to get the monthly payment. Okay, so we'll try an example. This is example 4. The Petty's family plans to buy a home for $174,900, and they've been offered a 30-year mortgage with a rate of 5.5% if they make a 20% down payment. What will their monthly payment be with this loan? Okay, so first of all, we find the down payment. Well, it's 20%, so we need 20% of $174,900. Okay, and that's $3,400,980. $34,980. Okay, then subtract that from the cost of the home to get the principal. So $174,900 minus this amount, and the principal of the loan is $139,920. Okay, divide by 1,000. That would be 139.92. Okay, just move the decimal 3 places to the left. Then find the value in the table for a 30-year mortgage at 5.5%. Oops. Okay, so we need, all right, 30-year mortgage at 5.5%, right, and that's 5.68. So they would pay $5.68 for every $1,000 of mortgage. All right, and then multiply that number by the number obtained in step 3, that's this one, all right, or the principal divided by 1,000. And that gives the monthly payment. And when you multiply that, that's approximately, I'll put that over here, $794.75. Okay, so we know how much they pay per month. $794.75. Another question that we're interested in, let's find the total amount of interest that this family would pay if they do take this mortgage in that previous example. All right, so what we need to know is the total amount that they'll be paying, and then we just need the difference between that and the principal of the loan. All right, so the amount that they're paying, so like monetary amount minus the principal, gives the interest. And we've seen this formula before back when we did future value, like for bank accounts. We said that the future value of an account would be principal plus interest. So how do we find the total amount that they paid? Well, we know their monthly payment, and then we just need to know how many months they'll be making that monthly payment. So we knew that this was a 30-year mortgage. Okay, and 12 months in a year, so they would be making 360 payments, and then 360 payments times the monthly payment amount should tell us how much they pay. And that gives $286,110. All right, now if we subtract the principal of the mortgage, that should tell us whatever's left over would be the amount that they paid towards interest and not towards the principal. So we want to subtract $139,920. And notice we're not subtracting the original amount of the house. We've already taken out the down payment, so we're subtracting the principal instead. And that gives $146,190. So they actually paid $146,190 just in interest. It's actually more than the principal of the mortgage. All right, let's compare a couple different offers for mortgages. Suppose this family is also offered a 15-year mortgage with the same rate and the same down payment. Find the difference in monthly payment and interest paid between the 15 and 30-year mortgages. Okay, well, we know that for the 30-year, we've already done the work here. We knew that the monthly payment was $794.75, and we knew that the total interest would be $146,190. All right, so now for the 15-year mortgage, we have the same down payment and the same rate, so I can reuse a lot of the work that I've already done. All right, if we're following that procedure for finding the monthly payment, all right, I already know the down payment. I've already subtracted and then I have the same principal divided by 1,000, so it's still going to be 139.92. Right, now when I go to the table, now I need a 5.5% mortgage, but for 15 years. All right, so the new number is 8.17, or $8.17. And then when we multiply those two, all right, 139.92 times 8.17, and that tells us the monthly payment, which will be $1,143.15. All right, so since it's a shorter term for the mortgage, that makes sense that they would have a higher monthly payment in order to be able to pay it off sooner. All right, how about the total interest paid? Well, we know the monthly payment. All right, and now they're paying this for 15 years at 12 months a year. Okay, so 15 times 12 is the total number of months. And when you multiply that, right, that gives, let's see, $205,767. Okay, and then subtract the principal, $139,920, and this should tell us the amount of interest that they paid, and they paid $65,847. All right, so for comparing, the monthly payment is higher in the second case. They're paying an extra $348.40 per month. Okay, so quite a bit higher, but they did save quite a bit on interest. They actually, the difference between these two, they saved $80,343. All right, so if you can pay a bit more per month on this mortgage, then ultimately that's better. All right, I will pause there, and in the next video I will do several more examples of this same concept.